And joining us right now is one of our great fighters up in Sacramento, a friend of this program. Assemblywoman Diane Dixon is here. She represents the 72nd Assembly District, and it is so nice to have you here. Give her a follow at Diane Dixon, AD72 on X. Assemblywoman, thanks for being with us.
You two are terrific. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Jen and Grant.
Well, and what a perfect day. So I received a great little notification from your office about some of the things that you're doing to, just prevent the overreach that's going on in government when it comes to gas in our homes. And then lo and behold, like 5 minutes ago, I'm like glowing because we just learned that the Senate passed the resolution. It was championed by Kevin Kiley in the House of Representatives to repudiate Gavin Newsom's ban on electric vehicles. And I know President Trump will smile from ear to ear to sign that. I am so happy about it. So let's start there. Your reaction to that.
Oh, my gosh, overwhelmingly happy, positive, because when I got to Sacramento 3 years ago, I was just astounded by the control by unelected regulators on our lives, on businesses' lives, on people's lives, commercial business, large and small. And in the last year, 6 months actually, we are seeing the breaking down of these mandates and regulations that have been destroying California, not the entire country. So yes, very pleased that the Senate has taken action on that to just put a stop on California having its own rules to dictate to automobile manufacturers, truck manufacturers, and how they have to be all zero emission. Zero emission, zero emission. You know, that initial law was passed 20 years ago by the legislature, who are members who are long gone, and we're picking up the pieces of our lives and how these mandates and regulations are destroying business. So it's a great day, and what I'm going to talk to you about next is what's happening in Southern California. So do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, please fill in, Grant, because we haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, but this is going on in Orange County.
Yes, well, it's broader than Orange County. It's the South Coast Air Quality Regional Management District, and if that acronym, and that doesn't scare all of us, but they've been in existence for decades to clean Southern California air. Okay, it's part of Los Angeles County as well. Anyway, they're latest in a series of mandates, and I think what's happening is people are just becoming aware of these excessive mandates that I said a moment ago are ruining businesses and ruining people's lives. It seems innocuous, it seems like okay, but no, it would ban, and we hear this word all the time, mandate a ban on gas, water heaters, and furnaces. Okay, well, what does that mean? In residential and commercial properties. Every single commercial business property, every single home, residence, apartment would have to, in 2 years, no longer use a natural gas-fueled water heater or furnace. And you know it's a slippery slope. It will go to your washer and dryer. It will go to your refrigerator. Ultimately, everything gets shifted to the electric grid. We all know the electric grid can't handle all this. But the point is that anything that is not electrified must be electrified in your home. So you could just.
And that means if you want to, just to clarify, so let's say you have a stove and it's time to replace your stove. Under this new plan, you can't even choose gas. You'd have to get electric, no matter how much that costs you to put that into your house, right? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, not only just the appliance, but I know this from my own personal experience when you go through a remodeling project, whatever, in order to put more of a load on the electrical grid, each individual building has to upgrade its panel. You know, on a simple home of 3,000 square feet would cost $15,000 just on the panel, plus the appliance regulations. So this is one more example of the overreach of regulators who are unelected telling us how to live and mandating these requirements that have an extreme cost, thousands and thousands of dollars on residents, apartment owners as well, because those landlords would be getting the responsibility. You know, they'd be liable for upgrading their apartment building, and they would pass that cost. Of course, who do they pass it on to? Are the tenants. So this would be a massive cost shift to businesses and to people.
I think they forget that in order to generate electricity, you need certain things. Natural gas is one way to generate electricity. Coal can generate electricity. Yes, you can use solar and wind, but how do they think they're going to generate the electricity to run all these new electric appliances now? Natural gas is a very cheap way to run a water heater. And by the way, my very special lady friend loves to cook. if you did away with her gas stove,
yeah, I'd go crazy.
There's no way she's going to be the same way with me. If you try to take my firearms, there's no way I'm giving it up. She would be a.
I'm with her on that. It's the only way to cook.
Okay, so this matter has been on the agenda, on earlier agendas of SCAQMD, Southern California Air Quality Management District meetings, and the public has become aware of this. There's been a lot of push on this. I've written lots of letters. I wrote an op-ed in the Register about 6 months ago. They postponed the May 2nd meeting. Now scheduled to June 6th. So this is why it's great for me to be talking to you, because it's a call to action for people to call or write or attend the meeting on June 6th in Diamond Bar and protest. It has caused them to delay this. We want them to cancel it. You know, regulators don't like to cancel any proposed regulation, but this must be canceled and wiped off the face of the earth. And the only way that will be happening is that people rise up. And people are rising up. You know that. You hear about it. And it does make a difference. And that's my message. And back to your mixed energy sources. I'm a member of the legislature's Problem Solver Caucus. We are fierce advocates for mixed hydrogen, certainly natural gas, small nuclear. We are advocates of alternative energy sources, but the AQMD is fixated only on getting rid of natural gas, no substitute, and 100% shift to electricity. It's wrong. People can make a difference. Their voice matters. They need to rise up, call or write, Google air quality, Southern California Air Quality Management District. And you'll see the agenda for June 6th. People need to be there or write and let their voice be heard.
Look, 6th. I don't think that this is some kind of a partisan issue. I think you got plenty of Democrats who like hot water and like to cook. So they're going to think this is literally outrageous. I'm curious. Restaurants too. But I'm curious on your committee that you serve. Are there any Democrats on that committee?
Yes. Oh, you know, it's equal. One Republican gets on and another Democrat gets on. We just had our spring dinner, if you will, where we gather to we all become very good colleagues. We have, I think there are 29 members, bicameral, bipartisan. Ironically, we just have to, we need 41 in the Assembly side to really change legislation. But we are making a difference because our voice gets heard. There are a lot of issues that, yes, we do have bipartisan, bicameral support. They're more reasonable people than we realize. It's just when it gets crunch time on a vote, these reasonable people, not in the other party, not my party, the reasonable people get hidden away. They can't vote or they're threatened. And we talked about that before. But then we do have a package of legislation that we do say that there are other solutions. It's just not one way. But this is so important, and I'm so happy to be able to speak and let your listeners know that, and I say this about a lot of things, their voice, their letters make a difference. Use social media. That's where we as a caucus, we are small but mighty, 20 Republicans in our Republican Assembly caucus, but we use the media, social media very effectively because it does generate a lot of response.
Now, I have a question.
We have to stop it.
In all seriousness, do you think that I could get appointed to the Problem Causers Caucus? Do you think there's room for me? Because that's where I'd like to go. I'd like to cause some problems in Sacramento. That's where I'd like to be. Assemblywoman Diane Dixon, thanks so much for being with us. And you are absolutely right. We were talking about this. The only way to get what we want in California is to make our voices heard. And so heed that call. June 6th is the big event. You don't want the government telling you want an electric stove? Great. You don't need the government requiring that. Give her a follow right now for more information. Diane Dixon, 8072. That's Diane Dixon, 8072 on X. And Assemblywoman, we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for what you're doing.
Oh, thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.